Welcome back, beer tubers. Ryan here, back another episode of San Diego Beer Vlog. Thanks for joining me. Going to be looking at another collaboration beer. This time it's from two island breweries, and they're calling this part of their Two Islands collaboration series. This is Hibiscus IPA from Coronado Brewing Company and Maui Brewing Company. This particular beer was brewed and bottled at Coronado this time around. And you see from the label, it's a India Pale Ale brewed with hibiscus, although being an IPA, it's only 4.9%, so it's actually, I guess you want to call it a session IPA or just a regular pale ale. They brewed this for a charity called Beer for Boobs, and so hence kind of like the pink theme, you know, the hibiscus flower. Wow, it's a great color. You definitely see that hibiscus kind of helping out this beer. They say they're using Centennial, Chinook, and Nugget hops along with the hibiscus flower. It's definitely got a pinkish tinge to it. You can tell it's an orange-based beer, you know, like a typical IPA, but it definitely has a reddish, pinkish tinge to it. Really not getting any head on this beer. I don't know if that's because of the hibiscus or not. There's definitely carbonation in the beer. Definitely getting the hops for sure. But you're also getting that hibiscus is adding a very nice floral component to this beer. Centennial certainly has some floral character, but a lot of times they tend to get, you know, more of like a sort of a tropical kind of character to it, along with some grapefruit. Peach is certainly there. Smells good. Let's dig in. Cheers. Oh, it's very interesting. I'm very happy to see that you can taste and smell the hibiscus they used, which is fantastic. You know, sometimes when they use extra ingredients like this in hoppy beers, it can get pretty lost in the beer, but the hops are certainly there, but the hibiscus certainly shines through in the back end. Up front, you get some piney, earthy, tinged hop bitterness to the beer. Maybe a little bit of like a bitter grapefruit mixed in as well. As soon as that hot bitterness fades, it goes right into a big floral note. It's got some floral sweetness. You really get that sort of plant-like character. It goes thankfully beyond being sort of like vegetable-y or too grassy, but you do get that floral character. You can definitely tell they're using some hibiscus petals in it. And it adds like a drying character to it. It's like has a little bit of a perfumey kind of character to the beer. Overall, it's a very, very light beer. You know, under 5%, just under 5%. Very light mouthfeel. Very quick on the palate. Very drying in the back end as well. I think the hibiscus dries the beer out. You get a little bit of sweetness in the back end, a touch of like sweet bready malt, and maybe a little bit of like a sweeter, peachy, orangey hop character. You know, maybe a slight bit of tropical fruit coming in there as well that kind of works with the hibiscus. There's also a little bit of fruitiness in there, like a fleshy stone fruit, sort of apricot that kind of goes along with the peach. It's got almost maybe a vaguely melon character to it, which I don't know if that might be play with the hibiscus coming through, maybe some of the yeast they're using. I don't know what particular yeast they're using with this. It's got a real solid hop character to it. I wish though there was a bit more malt backbone in the back end, because I think the hibiscus they used a good amount of it, and I think it just dries the beer out a little too much. I definitely prefer drier beers, but I think with the hibiscus in particular, I'd like to have a little more malty sweetness in the back end to kind of help that out, because it's very drying in the end, and while it is pretty crisp, kind of refreshing beer, it's not gonna in the end, I think might wear down the palate as I go through the entire bomber. But it's a really solid beer for a good cause. I've never had a beer with hibiscus. It's a great opportunity to try it. Showcases the flower very well, and it's got that, you know, nice typical West Coast hop character up front. So while this beer is brewed at Coronado, went through their distribution, future collaborations will also go through, be brewed at Maui and go through Maui's distribution, be canned and all that. That's going to wrap it up. Until next time, please comment and subscribe. Cheers.